Hello, my name's Adam Clemens and I'm a librarian here at Meek Library. In this video, I'll be covering a couple of things. First, I'll be talking a little bit about navigating the library's website. We've got a lot of resources and services that we offer you as a student, and it will really be helpful to you to understand at least the basics of navigating the website. Once we've covered the basics of the website and all the resources and services we have to offer here, I'd then like to move into a bit of a discussion about developing an effective search strategy. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the library's website. The easiest way to get to the website is to type in this URL, utm.edu/library, and you're here. Once you're on this page, you'll notice the standard UTM banner, which has all of the links that you would see on any UTM page. But what's unique to the library begins just below that. You've got the hours of operation. This is really handy if you're looking for, say, the hours during finals week or during the summer as we are now, or even during holidays. We have sometimes inconsistent hours. If you need to know when we're going to be open before you make a trip up to the library, that's the place you need to go. A couple other things to point out, we've got these get help options. You can do an instant chat by clicking on that, and this is anonymous and you can ask any questions you like. As long as you see this bright green available sign, that means someone's here to answer your question, and we usually get back instantly. The only reason we wouldn't is if we were helping someone else, but we will at least respond and get to you as soon as we can. We also have email options if you prefer to just send an email. The response rate there is not going to be quite as quick. Of course, you can always give us a phone call. Someone will be happy to take your call there. And of course, you can come in person if that's more your style. That works for us too. We're here anytime the library is open and help you in any way we can. We've also got research guides in case you're one of those kind of people that works late at night, maybe when the library is not open, or you're just not able to get to a librarian. We've developed these research guides, and I'll click on it here to show you. Just cover a number of different subject areas, and you see it's really expansive. This will really be helpful to students, say if you're in a history class and maybe history is not your background, and so you're not real sure where to go. This will kind of break it down depending on the area you're in. Just a really handy guide, again, so that you don't have to rely on librarians just in case maybe we're not available for various reasons or the library is closed or something like that. We've also got some help here for citations and how to deal with copyright and plagiarism issues, all sorts of stuff. Just a plethora of information there. Let's get back to the library's page. So those are places you'd go to get help over here on the right side of the page. On the left side of the page is where you'd find more of the library's resources and services in more detail. Of course, the library's got books, and this is where you would click to find those books. You can also click here. And then, by the way, these are print books, and this search bar and this search bar, if you were to leave it just as it is, performing a search will find, or you'll essentially be limiting your search to the print collection of Meek Library. That would include, I guess I should say, also electronic or ebooks. But in essence, it's the library's catalog alone. Now, if you go down to find databases, you'll see a big list of subject areas here that you can click on. And let's say if you click on English, you'll get a list of databases that relate to English, and there's all sorts of them, obviously. Now, this is where you would need to go if you're looking for academic or scholarly articles, for example. So remember that databases get you to articles. Now, these are some of the icons here, take you to some of the larger databases: EBSCO, ProQuest, JSTOR, Literati, Project Muse, Reader's Guide, and Tell. They're all really good places to start if you just have no idea. If you're not even sure of the subject area, these would be great places to start. We've also got a lot of other things in the library. Of course, we've got a 24-hour computer lab, and it's open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. In fact, I don't think it ever closes. We've also got quiet study areas as well as group study areas, and we even have group study rooms upstairs with marker boards, and you can check out markers to work in groups there. Really good stuff. We've also got an overhead scanner that students like to use to scan books and assignments for classes that you can then just basically send yourself digitally through email, so you don't have to have a USB drive or anything like that. Very useful. We've also got DVDs to check out, audio and video equipment galore, over 1,000 Ellison die cut shapes that you can use for making poster boards, projects, stuff like that, laminating machine, free fax machine, and even 2 multimedia workstations with graphic production software, which allows you to create and edit videos. So really and that's really just kind of an overview of some of the resources we have. There's a ton of stuff here, resources and services that, as librarians, we're happy to help you with. Another one of the services we offer is the interlibrary loan, which essentially is something that if you can't find it in Paul Meek Library, we can get it for you. And if you click on this link here, it'll ask you to log in using your UTM portal login, the same one you'd use there, and then you can request books, articles, whatever you're looking for that you can't find here. Submit a request there, and we'll do our best to get it from another library for you. And we usually get it fairly quickly. We've also listed some resources here specifically for students, specifically for faculty, and even specifically for community members. The Media Center is where you'd go to find a lot of the things I was talking about in terms of the audio and video equipment, the editing software, the free fax machine. It's a really cool place. If you've never been to it, it's really worth your time to come and take a look. It's located inside the library. We've also got, of course, special collections, the archives, lots of genealogy work being done here, lots of primary resource material related to West Tennessee. In fact, the West Tennessee Heritage Studies Center is a great resource for those of you who may be interested in various aspects of West Tennessee history. And we usually have a nice little exhibit set up that changes maybe at least 3 times a year, maybe more, but it's always worth your time to come over and take a look. If you're looking for a specific faculty or staff member in the library, that's where you'd find them there. And then by clicking on this final link here, you'll get a little overview of the history of Paul Meek Library. Okay, so by now, hopefully you have a little better idea about the library website's layout, and you also should have a little better idea of some of the resources and services that Paul Meek Library offers to you as a student at UTM. Let's talk a little bit now about developing an effective search strategy. To begin with, I always recommend you start by collecting background information about your topic. In this example, I'm going to use global warming, and I'll use it throughout the rest of this presentation. The first thing that I like to do when I'm doing research is just write down what I already know about global warming, or whatever topic it is that I'm working on. I can write down some facts that I know for sure, but then also some assumptions that may or may not be correct, and I'll learn the validity of those assumptions as I go through the research process. I'd also recommend discussing your topic with your professor. They may know some resources and books that are particularly useful. It may save you some time in the long run. You can also consult librarians with the same types of questions. We may not have the specific subject expertise that your professor will, but we will know a lot of resources that may be useful to you and your topic. You also should consider referring to other library resources, and you can do this on your own. You can go to print encyclopedias that we have here in the library, and you can also use .library databases like Literati, which is in essence a digital encyclopedia. And these sources are great for giving you an overview of a specific topic. Once you kind of have an overview of that topic, you should then start thinking about the subject area. The best way to identify the subject area of your topic is to think about what aspects of your topic interest you the most. When thinking about global warming, for example, maybe environmental issues or economic issues or political issues that relate specifically to global warming are what interests me the most. And knowing this specific subject area will actually help me identify the most useful library resources. That includes databases, books, encyclopedias, and other sources similar to that. You should also begin to identify keywords at this point. Something I like to do is just kind of get a piece of paper and write down words that relate to my topic. Now I've listed here that keywords are the most important nouns related to your topic. Of course, global warming is a keyword in and of itself, but you need to be thinking about other words that relate to global warming: weather, pollution, greenhouse gases, carbon dioxide emissions, atmosphere. Those all relate specifically to global warming. And of course, you can also think about other synonyms that relate to the various keywords you've come up with. And you may also think about other keywords if you have a more specific interest in global warming, which again you would have identified hopefully earlier on in the process. But again, just writing those down on a sheet of paper I find to be very useful, and it will really save you time as you begin to conduct searches related to your topic. Using Boolean operators is another way to really save yourself a little bit of time in the search process. Boolean operators, the and, or, not, are used to combine or exclude words in a search phrase. Now, for example, using and in a search tells a specific database, and I should say Boolean operators work with almost any database that we have here at the library. But using and in a search tells a database that all terms must be present. So an example I've used here, global warming and emissions and atmosphere. The database knows then that I want results that have a combination of global warming and emissions and atmosphere. So the articles that show up on the results page will have all three of these words or concepts or phrases within them. Now the next Boolean operator, or, tells the database that any of the words must be present. And this would kind of be one of those areas where you may consider applying, say, a synonym to global warming would be greenhouse gases or GHG. You may consider adding the Boolean operator or between those two words so that the database will return results for global warming and greenhouse gases, because some authors may use global warming, some authors may use greenhouse gases, but you're going to get to see articles that have either global warming or greenhouse gases. And then lastly, using not tells the database to exclude words from your search. In this example, maybe I'm specifically interested in a specific component of global warming, but I'm not necessarily interested in climate change as a sort of a separate problem and idea. And so in this case, I'm going to tell the database, give me results that have global warming but not climate change. So the database will in essence exclude any results that have climate change. Now that you've considered all these things, we've kind of worked through the process, we've come up with some good keywords, we've got a better idea of the subject area, and hopefully at least a basic understanding of the Boolean operator. Let's talk a little bit about developing an effective search phrase. Now on this page I've shown you a couple of examples of how to create a search phrase using those Boolean operators and some of the keywords we came up with a moment ago. And you can see those here and you can refer to them on your own time. But I think it's actually going to be more effective for you if we go into a database and search using what we've learned. So let's go back to the library's webpage here, and if you remember, if you're searching for articles, we want to go to find databases. If you're looking for books, obviously go to find books. But we're going to go to find databases, and let's click on EBSCOweb. Any of these icons down here are really good general databases. EBSCO and ProQuest are really great places to start if you are just not quite sure where to begin. They're a great starting place. I'm going to click to select all the databases in EBSCO, and then also I want to limit my results to full text only, as well as scholarly or peer-reviewed journals. And let's begin a simple search of just global warming, just like we would say in Google, but we know that these results are going to be scholarly, authoritative, and peer-reviewed. Right off the bat we see we get 10,009 results, and you don't have to go through that many results. So let's try just a simple Boolean operator of and let's tell the database to give us results that include global warming and agriculture combined. Immediately we're down from over 10,000 results to just a hair under 500 just with that. And of course you could expand this out using those other Boolean operators of or and not, and you can also just use some of the other keywords we came up with in this specific example to just continue to narrow down and drill down your search result and find very specific articles. Another way you can do that is not necessarily even changing the search phrase, but also just to limit the results here. Say if you want book reviews, you would click here. Academic journals we've already limited by scholarly peer-reviewed, and there's a number of other ways you can limit as well. So as one final piece of advice, don't get discouraged if your search phrase doesn't yield the kind of results you were looking for initially. This is a process and it does require some patience. You can use the skills that you learned in this video, apply some of the Boolean operators, work with keywords, expand those keywords, maybe refine the search phrase itself. But it's worth it in the end because you'll get some results if you stick with it that are really useful to you. Of course, if you need any help or assistance with anything related to library stuff, give us a call, email us, chat with us, come in person. A librarian is always happy to help. That's what we do. Just let us know if you need any help.